Hi, everyone. Coach Mo here, former executive, former total badass in the corporate world. And for the past 8 years, I've been helping women up level their career game and bring their soul to work. And what I'm going to talk about today is money. Money, money, money. And as I say those words, what's going on inside of you? If you're like so many women, we are not programmed to feel as comfortable with money as our male counterparts. One of the reasons why we lag behind, studies show we lag behind by a good 30 cents in our retirement accounts per dollar and a good 26 cents or more in our earning power year over year. And those numbers haven't changed much. Why? I'm going to tell you what, those numbers have changed for my clients because I have a secret recipe for money. And I'm going to tell you some of the aspects of our secret recipe today and right now. If you're watching me on Facebook Live, awesome. Hit up a comment. Let me know you're here. Share this with your friends. Maybe they want to make more money too. If you are watching this or listening to this in another way, another avenue, maybe on YouTube or Facebook later on, or a podcast, let me know in a comment what you think about this content and what you want to do or what you want to earn going forward. Look, money isn't as important to our lives in this physical world as oxygen is to our bodies. We're not breathing good. And some of you might have breathing disorders. And you know, when you're not breathing good, your whole entire self doesn't feel good. If you're not earning good, you feel the same way. If you consciously know you should be making more money, you're going to feel a little bit of misery. If you subconsciously know that you have let yourself down, that you have not played it to the right level, and that other people are perhaps not only making more, but playing the game better than you, you're probably feeling bad about yourself. And this makes the money earning and the money getting even harder. The challenges of making money that I know about, because I was in my corporate job for over 35 years. I moved up the ladder. I earned more money than was on my vision board or on my goals. At some point in my career, I went past that number and I said to myself, wow, this is possible for me. And then my income soared. It's funny how we struggle with that number. If you don't have an income number that you want to get to, you're missing out on piece number one of how to earn more money. And my clients are earning on average $30,000 to $75,000 more in their new jobs, leaning into our proven 12-week kick-ass career journey. I show women how to not only earn more money, but the very few things that have to happen in front of that in order for that to happen. And the very first thing you have to understand is the difference between how you feel about your worthiness and the value that you bring to the workplace. And if you don't get those two pieces right, if you don't have your worthiness right, and if you don't have your value proposition right, I can guarantee you you're losing out on money. I'm career coach Mo Fall, and I've developed, after a 35 plus year successful career at the highest levels in the executive suite, a proven formula that over 2,000 women have followed to not only claim a money number that they thought was beyond them, but more importantly, to claim their worthiness. You know, if you grew up like I did as a young girl, you were taught to take care of other people, feed other people first, and make sure everyone else is taken care of before you are. When you're last in line, you're not thinking how much money I should be making, how much money I ought to be making, and moving in that direction. You're thinking as long as it's good enough. And good enough is not good enough for you. It's certainly not good enough for your family, and it's certainly not good enough for your future. If you're not beyond the funding level of 401k, which, by the way, if you save only for through your 401k, you're probably not going to have enough money in your retirement. If you're mid-career and you're not where you need to be with your retirement savings, if you're mid-career and you're not enjoying life and the trappings of life in the way that your peers are, or that you want to be, and you know that you're lagging behind, listen up, because your worthiness starts with you on the inside. And money is a very interesting property. It's in the physical world, although I don't know the last time I actually saw a paycheck. I mean, everything is so digitized now, especially if you're moving money around in all the digital platforms. It's an energy. Money is an energy. And there's two exchanges for the energy of money. Number one is how you feel about yourself, your worthiness. And number two is the value that you can articulate to someone who's paying you. And I'm going to underscore the word articulate, because I would say all of the women we work with, they haven't gotten it down what their value proposition is. But before we get to that piece, and again, this is a 3-piece process. The number that you want, so you have to always have a goal or a desire, the worthiness you feel, and the value exchange that you can articulate. These are the 3 aspects of making more money. These are the 3 main aspects of how we take our clients from under earning and overworking to earning their worth and their value, and helping them not overwork, to feel that they have to put in hours to make up for the amount of money that they're making. Just recently, on this past weekend, as a matter of fact, I got to meet with our advanced clients in one of our advanced programs. Those women are making their dream salaries plus. And when you come into our 12-week workshop, we're going to ask you to write down a number, a dream salary number. And we're going to move you toward that dream salary number. Now, in some cases, it's not the first move that you make. And we're not realistic about this, but we are marketplace realistic to a degree. And in order for you to know the money that you should be making, you need to do a little research. So you got to do that. You've got to determine what market rate is out there. And if you've been in the same company for over 7 or 8 years, you probably have some deflated earnings based on the fact that most companies won't advance or market adjust that aggressively. They don't have to, they don't want to. Companies want to pay you enough to keep you there. And then there's companies that, well, let's just put it this way. They know that they're taking advantage of your willingness to accept lower pay. Oftentimes on our career clarity calls, and by the way, if you haven't had the opportunity to meet with one of my awesome coaches, our career breakthrough strategists, who run you through a complimentary career clarity call, book that call now. It's at mofall.com/talk. You can go ahead and book that on your phone while I'm explaining to you the reason why you're not making the money that you want to make. So go ahead and book that call, mofall.com/talk. And you'll be able to get an appointment with one of my career breakthrough strategists, and she'll go through with you in more detail what's really in your way. But I'm going to share with you right now the 3 things that are in your way. Number 1, claiming your worth, claiming that number. I've got women who are making $500,000 a year, and before we started working, they were in the 2s. I've got women who are making less than $100K a year, and now they're making over 100, 150. I have women who have been out of the workforce for years, and we help them get back into 6-figure plus earnings. Or how about women who have quit their jobs, making almost 200K and now making almost 300,000. Using my proven formula in the first 12 weeks, on average, our clients are moving from a $30,000 to $75,000 increase. Some of our ladies have doubled their salary in that time, which is much more than that. And some of them have moved over $100,000 greater. Some earning equity and percentage of stocks, et cetera, that have literally turned them into millionaires when they didn't know that they should be asking for those things or even having the availability. And then once they were offered these things thinking, oh, I can't ask for more, They've given me so much. Negotiation strategies is week 8. So if you'd like to know our negotiating strategies for offer letters, you're going to have to work with us. But today I'm covering your money ask, your worthiness, and your value. So you've claimed your dollar amount, you've done your research, you know what you should be earning, you know what the numbers are out there, and you know the difference between where you're at and where you ought to be. Let's just say for purposes of math that you're at 150 and you know that you should be at 225. That's a $75,000 difference. But here's the head game. It's also getting you over the 200K glass ceiling. That's actually, in many cases, a thicker glass ceiling than hitting the 100K glass ceiling. The 200K seems to be a little bit of a thicker glass to break through. And we've seen this with clients who we've helped break through that level of earning power. So if you're at 150, you think you should be making 225. Now comes the worthiness. I want you to know that the inner work of feeling worthy of that amount and knowing you don't have to work harder for it and knowing that it's not going to take you out or overwhelm you or so stress you out that you're going to be taking from your family. Your worthiness has to come in and integrate into how you feel about yourself and the identity that you have about who you are in the world. This is a big component why women under earn, because we don't take the time or have enough social cues or enough inner work to help us feel valuable inside. You see, so many women in almost every culture, I'm going to say every culture, are taught that their worthiness is secondary. Sometimes directly speaking that your worthiness is strictly being a baby producer. I hope that didn't piss anyone off to say that, but that's how a lot of societies treat their girls and young women, like their real value is just in producing babies and not being a competent, talented, successful professional woman. You can be both, and you can be many more things than that. And you can handle a worthiness that is an abundance and a great role and growth and thriving and prosperity in every way. I know you can handle all of that, but inside you have to be aligned with that, which is why the very first thing we do in our 12-week program is help you come alive on the inside and claim your soul and that power back. Maybe you've never felt that level of power. Perhaps you've got the right education, the right expertise, and the right experience, and you've never quite felt that you were that powerful. Maybe all of that felt superficial for you, and the power of who you are and what you bring to the table was never felt inside. And I know how that feels. When I got my first job making $105,000 a year, it was my first role as a vice president. And this was when I was 33 years old. I had claimed that I was going to go get a job for a national company at a place that was better weather than Pittsburgh. And sorry for all those of you in Pittsburgh, but the weather isn't that great in the winter. And I was going to do better, earning 6 figures. That was my goal. I want to make 6 figures. Well, I landed this great job for $105,000 when I was 33 years old. I was on the top of the moon, thinking this was the best place ever, and I was going to have a dream career at this company. Well, you know what? It didn't work out that way. I learned a painful lesson that no matter what you're making, your sense of worthiness and sense of self is the most important aspect to your earning power. And I learned as I watched others around me making more money at higher level positions, and some of them were legitimately millionaires with how much money they were making and the stock options that they had. As a matter of fact, the owner of the company, who I was in some meetings with several times in my time at this particular company, was literally worth over $500 million. And I looked at him and I thought to myself, wow, that's a lot of money. But you know what? He felt he deserved every single dollar. Now, there was a little bit of arrogance with this guy, and I don't love that. And as a matter of fact, it was a big turnoff. And I spent some years wondering if I had to be a jerk like that in order to be successful. And I determined years later, it took me a few years to get my head and heart around this, that I did not have to sacrifice being an awesome human being for making great money. And eventually my career continued to take off. And that $105,000 salary that I made at 33 was in the rear view mirror for the rest of my career. I continued to up level, and eventually my number was 250,000. And when I made that number, I felt, wow, I've really made it. But you know, the funny thing is, when you contribute at a certain level and you feel your worthiness, you know there's more growth and potential for you to act out into the world. I like nice things. I like to enjoy what making great money can do and how we've created memories for our kids and had such great family time together because we had the freedom to have financial prosperity. And I'm going to tell you what, it came with hard work and dedication and commitment to one thing that so many people lose sight of. And that is my commitment to being a better version of me every single day. So your worthiness does not stop. Your worthiness does not park itself at that $105,000 job that you land at 33. You start getting the sense that every single move you make past that is a sense of worthiness and a sense of making yourself better. That's how to increase your worthiness magnetism. And the very first thing you need to understand about money is that it is attracted and is magnetized to those human beings who feel worthy. I want you to think about that and feel it in and know that that is one of the truest things about abundance. Money will come to those who feel worthy of it. It is a magnetized energy in our universe. And perhaps you've noticed that with others and you didn't know, you couldn't figure out, why do other people make more money than I do? And they're not as skilled. They're not as talented. They don't bring as much to the table. What's wrong with me? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong. Your inner worthiness is not a great magnet. And when you increase your soul's power, which is the very first thing we do in our 12-week program, you're going to begin to have a greater magnet for money. This is one of the biggest truths of the law of attraction that most people miss. You can't just sit around with a vision board and with goals saying, I want to make $250,000 a year and keep doing the same thing over and over again. If you're doing the same thing and feeling the same about yourself, you're literally going backwards. You have to keep making yourself a better version of you in order to keep magnetizing more and greater and better into your life. This is a truth of taking responsibility for yourself and of bettering yourself. It's upping your worthiness quotient inside. And we see this with all of the clients we've worked with. And you know what? Some of them stop doing the work after they get to a certain point. And I get so bothered by that. Keep doing the work. Your life keeps getting better, which is why it's so fun, like I did on Saturday, to spend several hours with these advanced clients of mine who keep doing the work, who keep moving forward in their lives and have vacations and holidays, memories with their kids, better retirement accounts. Some asking the question, hey, Mo, let's put together a retirement program so we can learn how to retire better. This is what I'm talking about. And when you make $30,000 to $75,000 more a year for 10 years, how about for 20 years? If you're 45 years old right now listening to this call, I want you to do the math. If you make $75,000 more for the next 20 years, you have put in $1.5 million more into your coffers. Okay, you're going to say, yeah, Mo, but there's taxes and whatever. Okay, let's not get into the minutia, but you know what I'm saying. And that 75K more now keeps growing and compounding because your next moves are going to be on top of that. So it's not 75,000 more times 20 years. It's 75,000 year one. It's 85,000 year two. It's 90,000 year three. It's 100,000 more year four. And I'm not making these numbers up. We have real clients with this actual experience every single day. They've got the education, they've got the expertise, they've got the experience. They weren't going forward until we started working together. And when I showed them our proven formula of how we help them bring themselves back into their power and into their soul and give them exact strategies for increasing their feelings of worthiness on the inside. Now we can handle the third topic, and that is increasing your value articulation. Being able to talk about what you bring to the table in a powerful way that that next person who's going to employ you or that promotion in your company is easy for them to see. If you can't articulate your value, you will not make the money that you ought to be making. So it's money goal first, worthiness second, and the third thing has to be your ability to articulate your value. And this is the exact thing we do second in our workshop. The second thing we do is help all of our clients get very clear on the specific value that they bring into their company. You know, so many women are so vague on what they do, and they feel that if they led a team, well, they didn't really do it. It was really the team. And so they defer their greatness. Well, it was really the team, and I don't know. And I said, I don't care if you're on the offensive line. If you win the Super Bowl, you're a Super Bowl champion. Well, it was really the quarterback who threw the touchdown passes. No, you're on the team. You win the Super Bowl. You're not a less than Super Bowl winner. So women, hear me on this. Stop diminishing your value. If you're on a winning team, you're a winner. Men know this so much better than women. And if you're a woman who played sports, you're getting the hang of this as I'm saying it. Yeah, because if my basketball team won or my lacrosse team won, yeah, we were winners. I don't care if I didn't score a goal. I don't care if I sat on the bench, frankly, because sitting on the bench means that you practiced with the team, you were there with the team, you were cheering them on, you were supporting them. If you didn't get to play, you didn't get to play, but you still get to be a champion. Your value has to be articulated in a powerful way with powerful words and truth ringing in from your soul outward, in your throat, in your voice, with emotions and power in a way that that other person can sit back and go, yeah, we want that on our team. Yeah, we're willing to pay you $225,000 for that. As a matter of fact, we have a bonus structure. We have unlimited vacation. And after the first year, you're going to be in our deferred compensation plan. Yes, yes, yes. This is what we do. We help women set their money target, increase their worthiness inside, and increase in their ability to articulate their value. You can be feeling like $1 million inside, but if you don't do anything about it, you're not going to get it. If you can't tell someone what you're going to do for them and the value you bring to the table, you're not going to earn what you should earn. You have to have all three of those in place. And I'm going to tell you what, we have the great opportunity of watching women get offers all day long, and oftentimes offers above their ask. Why? Because an employer wants that talent. And if you're interviewing for jobs and you ask for 225 and that's in their range, and they're thinking, you know what, she wants 225, but we're going to offer her 240 to really lock in the deal and get her talent. Those things happen in our clients' experience. That is the reality that we have in our workshop. This is a 12-week proven formula that the very first thing we're going to do is help you bring your worthiness up and magnetize who you are and what you're all about in the world. And then we're going to help you articulate your value in a very specific way of how are you providing value into your company or into the next company, what you've already done in the very specific outcomes. This is an important value exchange for your future employer to understand. Or if you're trying to get a promotion in your company, you have not made a good enough pitch for them to really appreciate your promotion. As a matter of fact, you might be so good at your current job that the last thing they want to do is promote you, because then who's going to fill your role where you're working for 3 people? I mean, you're doing the work of 3 people. I know who you are. You're overworking to try to prove that you're valuable at the next level. And that's exactly the thing that is stopping you from getting to the next level. They don't want to move you on because they can't replace you. So you have to shut that stuff down as well. And this is the thing that we teach when we help coach and teach our clients through their value proposition. Stop overworking and filling in the gaps of other people, thinking that that's going to advance your career and your earnings. It is not. It's the exact opposite. If you're doing that, your company and your boss thinks that you don't know how to handle proper work assignment and articulate the resources that you need. Oh, they're happy to have you overwork and fill in everyone's gaps. Don't get me wrong. But you're not making the proposition about your value at the next level. You're the one who's making the mistakes to not advance in your career. And we're going to help you turn this around. So I want you to listen real closely as I summarize what I just went over for you. Number one, the reason why you're not making the money that you ought to be making is because you're not clear on what your value is and what your worthiness is out in the marketplace. You don't have a strong enough goal. Number two, you don't have the worthiness inside, feeling and magnetizing that number and that worthiness inside. There's a disconnect. And number three, you don't have the ability right now, if you're not making the money that you should be making, of articulating your value in a specific outcome-based way that someone else is going to nod their head and go, yeah, you're worth 225. Yeah, you're worth 400. Yeah, you're worth that extra stock option package. Yeah. Don't make the same mistakes that so many women make and consider that money is not that important. You're not going to feel that way when you're 3 years from retirement and you've blown through the last 20 years not thinking money was that important. It's too late at that point to make up for lost time. And by the way, if you're 3 years from retirement and you're not where you want to be, we better get to work today, because that means you've got to maximize what you bring to the table in a very short period of time. The only way for you to do that is to be surrounded by a team of experts who know how to get you there. Don't waste one more day not earning your true worth and value in the world. You are flushing money down the toilet. Please hear me say this with a great, great big dose of love. I want all women on this planet to claim their worth on the inside and to claim their value and make more money on the outside. It is the way we as women are going to claim our truth in this world and align better with women in power and organizations and companies having greater abilities to change the world in a way that's positive. And the impact is easier the higher your earning is. You're able to make a much bigger impact making $500,000 a year than you do making 150. That's the truth. And the truth is that when you're resonating at the $500,000 earning level, you're on fire, you're powerful, and you're able to have authority and impact at that high of a level. If you're at 150, struggling, thinking you should be making more, but you don't know how to do it, you're not in your power and you're not making the impact you want to make. Let's change this now forever. You'll have the tools to change it forever once we work together. We're going to show you the exact roadmap that we've shown over 2,000 women to do. Money, worthiness, value. That's the secret recipe to earning more. And that's the secret recipe we give our clients so that they can make their jump of a $30,000 to $75,000 jump annually in the 12 weeks that we show them our proven formula. That's yours to get after. The way you get started is by booking a call with us, talking with one of our career breakthrough strategists, and going through what's exactly not working in your career, where you want to be. And if we can close that gap for you, we will show you how that works, and we will lead you the way into our proven formula. This is Coach Mo Fall. I hope to see you on the other side of that call and to coach you into your brilliance and into your greatness. If you're not where you want to be on the side of money, it does not have to stay that way. And half of you are breadwinners in your families, and they deserve you to show up big time so that you can have the life of your dreams and have memories and the impact that you want to have in the world. Let's magnetize more money for you, and let's give you the strategies so that you can articulate your value and land that dream job in the dream company so that you can have an exciting life. It is so possible for you. Follow the prompts of the link below, mofall.com/talk, or whatever link is below this session that you're listening to. We will see you on the other side. Let's get at it, women. It's our time for power. Coach Mo Fall, mofall.com/talk.